Spanish tennis ace Rafael Nadal has said that he feels unlucky to be in the same era as Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. Nadal defeated Daniil Medvedev in the men's final of the Australian Open to surpass Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic, each of whom have won 20 Grand Slams each. The 35-year-old, who clinched his second Australian Open title on January the 30th, said, "I think we have always been respectful with each other. We understood the rivalry in a positive way through our careers. And yeah, I received plenty of messages. I am sorry I've not been able to answer everyone, as you can imagine, but yeah, I feel really proud about the way we manage our rivalry throughout our careers. At the end of the day, it's just a game. In some ways, we achieved more than what we dreamed as kids." Sydney Morning Herald quoted Nadal as saying, "At the end, it doesn't matter much if one is 21, the other is 20, or one finishes with 23 or 21. We did, I think, very important things for our sport, and we achieved our dreams and we enjoyed it. I feel very lucky to be part of this era that has been so very special for our sport," he added. However, the respect around the three isn't completely mutual. The father of Novak Djokovic simply does not like Rafa Nadal or Roger Federer. But why? How can anyone not like Rafa or Roger? Well, let's find out. Last year, Novak Djokovic's father, Serjan, hit out at Roger Federer after insinuating that he is not the person many think him to be, going as far as accusing the Swiss of attacking his son. Both Federer and Nadal have come out against Djokovic's plan to form a second tennis group, Professional Tennis Players Association, to counter the ATB, which the Serbian has been critical of. "About 15 years ago, Federer attacked my son when he was still young. He was 18 or 19 years old," Serjan Djokovic told Serbian TV channel K1. "I knew someone would be there who would be better than him. So I said that Federer was a great champion, the best of all time. But as much as he is a great champion, Federer is not such a good man. It is obvious that foreign media outlets do not have the best opinion of us, Djokovic Sr. and son, and think that we are constantly bothering him. To tell you the truth, I do not want to be part of your twisted world. I'm sorry you don't like Novak. I just tell you the truth. What should I do? They defame him so much and say so many disgusting things about him that it's unbelievable. My answers are much clearer compared to how they treat this great champion, that they won't have again in this world." It's impossible to know exactly what incident Serjan is alluding to, but perhaps it's something to do with this story from 2006. Once, Djokovic's behaviour during a Davis Cup match even caused the level-headed Federer to lash out at the Serbian. Federer called Djokovic a joke for his actions during a match with Stan Wawrinka at the Davis Cup in 2006. A 19-year-old Djokovic came back to beat Wawrinka 3-2 and level the playoff match 1-1. Yet the young Serbian was accused of feigning injury by Federer. Over the course of the match, Djokovic had repeatedly called his trainer over to tend to a mystery injury, which Federer believed was a tactic to disrupt Wawrinka's rhythm. According to Tennis Planet, Federer said, "I don't trust his injuries. I'm serious. I think he's a joke, when it comes to his injuries." Since the Swiss star's comments, the pair have had an intense on-court rivalry. In 2012, when asked about his Davis Cup comments, Federer downplayed the tension between him and the Serbian. As reported by Tennis Planet, he said, "I was just upset at him calling the trainer out for no obvious reasons against my buddy Stan in a 5-setter. That was it. We had a quick chat about it in Madrid. After that, things have been cool for a long time between me and him." But clearly, Serjan has not forgiven, and he's not forgotten. Novak's father, Serjan Djokovic, has always been vocal about praising his son, and a constant believer in his abilities to reach the top. But while praising Djokovic and his journey, Serjan has often criticised Federer and Nadal for how they treated Novak. There was a time when Federer shushed Djokovic's family during their duel at Monte Carlo Masters in 2008. The Swiss star looked distracted by Djokovic's camp as he directed a serious "keep quiet" comment at them. Though Federer and Novak Djokovic have navigated around occasional tension and barbs, the Djokovic family seem to have settled into a more respectable behaviour during their son's ascension to number one. But now, Serjan Djokovic has again reverted to pettiness. The Telegraph and USA Today also reported comments on Nadal through career. Nadal was his best friend while he was winning. When things changed, they were no longer friends. It's not sporting. Nadal seemed perplexed by Serjan Djokovic's observations and deflected the issue when telling Marca.com Djokovic's father should talk to his son. I've always got on very well with him and I still do. I've lost lots of matches against him and vice versa, but we've never had a problem. Serjan Djokovic's remarks are another episode that follows in the footsteps of tennis fathers like Stefano Capriati, Richard Williams and John Tomic. They have a history of overstepping their bounds. Because of their own ego and hubris, they have a need to tell the world how great their kids are. They make heated accusations and spoil the spirit of competition. The accuracy of Serjan Djokovic's classless comments is debatable, but the important point is that Novak should not have to answer for his father's petulance. He has become the best player in the world without having to resort to vitriol, and he doesn't need this distraction. The comments imply that Federer and Nadal are jealous of his son's success, but the irony is that Djokovic Sr. seems to be fishing for more respect and adulation on behalf of his son. Does he expect Federer and Nadal to smile and heap more verbal praise? Over the years, both Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic have maintained a gracious relationship on court. Their last meeting came during the semis at the Australian Open last year. The Serbian star overpowered Federer in straight sets and took a dominating 27-23 lead in their head-to-head record. While we never got to know what Serjan meant by the exact word attacked, he never stopped accusing Federer. Last year, Serjan wondered why the Swiss maestro is even playing tennis at the age of 40. According to him, Federer couldn't stand Djokovic and Nadal crossing him in terms of major titles, and it was difficult for the Swiss star to accept the same. Serjan Djokovic also gave advice to Roger as he asked him to retire from tennis and go skiing with his children. Imagine that. A 40-year-old man still plays tennis when he can go home and do some more interesting things. But since both Nadal and Novak are breathing down his neck, he simply cannot accept the fact that they will be better than him. Go, man. Raise children. Do something else. Go ski. Do something. Tennis is not my whole life. It is just my son's current hobby. He is only a tennis player at the moment. The comments by Serjan Djokovic regarding Federer stand in stark contrast of those of Tony Nadal, Rafa's uncle and former coach. I am very sorry for Roger Federer's injury, since he is a person I enjoy watching tennis. He said, I don't feel like it so much when he plays against my nephew, but there is no doubt in affirming that Federer is a great champion, and I would like to see him again at a great level when he returns from the injury. But interestingly, Serjan doesn't dislike everyone. He's a fan of Andy Murray. Oddly enough, Serjan Djokovic went out of his way to praise the conduct of his son's chief current rival Andy Murray back in 2013. He said, according to Marca.com, they can't be best friends because they're fighting for the biggest titles, and at the end of the day, lots of money as well. But they are perfectly sporting rivals, and I'm sure they will be great friends when their careers are over. Yet, according to The Independent, Novak Djokovic and Murray have cooled their former friendship. Murray said as much last month. I would hope that when we finish playing, it will be different. But it's just hard because playing in big matches with a lot on the line, you can't be best of friends. The whole Serjan and Federer drama can be seen in two ways. One way to look at it is the fact that Serjan strongly believes that Djokovic is deserving of more love and respect from across the globe, as the likes of Federer and Nadal stop him from achieving that. The other way to see the whole episode is to realise that Serjan Djokovic is a father who is super proud of his son's achievements, and sometimes goes out of his way to prove the same. Neither Federer nor Djokovic ever expressed any adversity towards one another, at least in the recent years.